Alaska a couple of weeks ago, I met a young guy in Delta Junction, Adam McNabb, who had this really nice old Bronco, first generation Bronco, original paint car. He was a mechanic, he restored vehicles, he raced vehicles, and I just thought, well, it'd be worthwhile to go back and see him again. So I have his number, got his name. We're driving down to Delta Junction, right in the heart of outback Alaska. Hello, Adam. What's happening?
Just enjoying this weather.
I happened to be driving through here a couple weeks ago, met Adam at a hamburger stand, and admired his Bronco, which is why we've driven from Fairbanks down to here a couple of hours to see this car again, which is a really, kind of a cool barn find discovery. And he's got several other Broncos. So can you tell us what's special about this car?
So this is a 72, 302, 3-speed. I found this car down in Glen Allen.
Which is a town how far from here?
About 160 miles roughly. The gentleman that I picked it up from was, from what I understand, the second owner. He bought it from a school district that used it, as far as I know, from it when it was new, to transport kids across a small creek crossing during high water. And that's pretty much all it ever got used for. It currently has 110,000 miles on it.
And that's an original paint Bronco.
It is, yeah.
Man. Huh. So is that's a factory color?
Yes.
So the school district bought this car just to bring kids across a creek during high water. Unbelievable. Can you pop the hood on it?
Yeah.
So you can see the original color all inside the fender, the firewall. So that's a 302 two-barrel. So this car's never been monkeyed with or anything. It's just original, huh?
Well, the Holly carburetor is a replacement.
Yep.
It would have had a motorcraft on it. But other than that, everything else, as far as I know, is original.
I'd say for a 72 Bronco, this is probably the best original paint one I've seen in a long time, man.
Yeah.
And having lived its life in Alaska, that's saying a lot, man. So how did you find this car?
Through a friend. It's one of those things that once you've got one, other people see you and, hey, I know somebody that knows somebody, and that's how I came across this one.
No kidding.
It's been a great little rig. It sat for, I think, about 15 years. I threw a battery in it and filled up the float bowl with gas, and it started just like that.
No
and I've been driving it ever since.
Hey, why don't you introduce your son here?
Oh, this is Nathaniel. He's my oldest boy.
And he shares your car passion?
I think so. He says that his first vehicle is going to be a Bronco.
Oh, man.
So.
You can't own just one Bronco, can you?
No, not one.
So you got a couple other ones here on the property and
do.
Some other ones
at another property close by.
Let's take a look at some of the other ones you got, if that's okay. So here we have another one of Adam's Broncos. Tell us about this car. This is the oldest one you've got, right?
Yeah, so this is 66. This actually isn't the oldest, but it is the oldest complete Bronco I have.
66 was the first year of the first generation Bronco.
Correct. And so this one was built in June of 66. It's got its original 289 car, 3-speed. From what I understand, the 289 wasn't offered until March of '66. Prior to that, you could only get a six-cylinder. '66 was the only year that I'm familiar with that they actually offered both the 240 six-cylinder as well as the 160.
Oh.
Or 170.
170.
170 six-cylinder.
And so, how did you find this one?
Actually, I found this one in the woods. Behind a guy's place.
Yep.
He said he had some old two-door four-wheel drive rig. Told me he just wanted somebody to haul it away, so that's what I did. It didn't have any axles under it or anything. So,
just it was like a tub.
yeah, sitting on the frame. So I gathered up a set of front and rear differentials for it. The engine and transmission, everything was still in it. I'm not sure why the axles were gone. You know, it would have had the Dana 30 front axle, which nobody really cares for. It now has a Dana 44 and, of course, a 9-inch.
So what would be the future of this vehicle?
Well, we'll probably hang on to it. I need to tear it back down and do a bunch of body work and repaint it and whatnot.
So tell us about a vacation you took with this.
So we flat towed this behind our motorhome from here to Southern California. We went down Highway 101. We drove this through the Chandler Tree, and there's 2 other redwoods that you can drive through. One which from what I understand, has fallen over since we did that trip. And then we went to Anaheim, went to Disney there, SeaWorld, and went out to Glamis. And then from Glamis we went to Moab, and then up into Colorado and Wyoming. And so it was quite the adventure.
Wow.
Lots of good memories in this rig.
So what year is this one?
This is a 72. This one lived kind of a hard life, got hit pretty hard in the back. All the bones are solid. There's no rust in it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Is it an Alaskan vehicle?
As far as I know, yes. That door's been...
Oh, okay. It's only got 76,000 miles. Well, the floor, you know, I don't think it's got cancer, but it's got rust.
Yeah. Yeah, rocker panels are still good.
What is that thing in the middle? Is that a heater?
Yes, that's an electric heater. So that's one of the solutions, was to have something like this in your vehicle, and then when you plug it in at night, it heats the cab, well, or attempts to, while your vehicle's plugged in. Because up here we run an engine block heater as well as oil pan heaters.
So this then would heat not only your engine block but the interior and
Correct.
No
Yeah.
kidding. Did it work?
I don't think so. I think it burned a lot of vehicles to the ground. Honestly,
Jeez.
I've seen a lot of vehicle fires because of stuff like that.
Now what motor's in this one?
So this is the 302, 3-speed.
So what's the future of this vehicle for you?
I think this is going to be probably a good candidate for him.
Really?
I think so.
And Nathaniel would kind of learn how to work wrenches and stuff with this?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be neat.
absolutely. No, what I've found is that there's a lot more 72 and newer Broncos out there than previously. And I believe the reason for that is the 1971 Baja 1000 was won by Ford in a Bronco.
No kidding. And they became more popular because of that.
Yeah, don't know if it was 71 or 72, but Ford came out with a Baja Bronco edition. There were 650 of them made. I've found so many different variations amongst Broncos, and I can't really understand why they did what. You know, I mean, I've got one that's got dual shock towers on all 4 corners.
From the factory?
From the factory.
Man.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
Ford was a lot like a sandwich shop back in those days. You could get whatever you wanted.
We're going to leave Adam's home and then drive just a mile or so away, still in the same town, to see a collection of other Broncos that he's got at a place he used to live at. So follow us. Wow, this thing does turn tight. Wow.
Bronco making his day, you know, and he's making my day. I've never driven a first gen Bronco. FJ's over there.
Here we are at Adam's second location, and it's just a mile from where he lives now. And I see lots of various vehicles littering the place here. Tell us, okay, let's stay on the Bronco theme for a little while. What's the deal with this?
So this is a 68 Bronco. This was a 6-cylinder, 3-speed.
Mm-hmm.
The body has definitely seen better days. It's got a lot of patchwork done on it. And it was on a rig that I was driving, and we pulled it off for a better body.
Just want to point out, I've been talking about how dry the climate is here in Alaska, and look at this quarter panel on this Bronco. Adam told me that he sandblasted this quarter panel 7 years ago. So this raw metal has been sitting out in the Alaska weather for 7 years, and there's virtually no rust. I mean, the slightest bit of surface rust that a piece of sandpaper or a Brillo pad or a piece of steel wool would take it right off. But here, there's absolutely no rust at all. No rust. So that's why cars in Alaska last so long. Just amazing. Perfect example.
There's still a lot of good bones here, and I think eventually that this will go back onto a chassis and live again. But the one unique thing about this that I guess from what I understand very few of these Broncos came with was a factory bench seat. And so this has got the pickup style divider like on the pickup Broncos.
Yep.
But clearly was a wagon. And that was because the seats had no support frame behind them, so they used the divider to support them.
Did it have back seats?
Yeah, it still had the
So you had
back
to climb
bench
over
seat.
or get in the tailgate?
Right. Yeah, kind of absurd.
Yeah, it wouldn't fly these days.
No.
How'd you find this one?
This one, so this came with 72 that I have out in the field that I picked up at an auction, an estate auction.
Oh, okay.
And I paid the total sum of $1,700 for both. Also ended up with a 351 Cleveland Super Cobra Jet engine that they were originally going to put in one of these.
So where's the chassis for this now?
This is at my shop in town. The chassis is.
You got shops all over the place.
I've got a couple. Yeah.
And we saw another parts rig back here, right?
Correct. Yeah.
What year's that one?
So this is a 66. This was the third month of 66. This was a 170 6-cylinder. Been pretty well abused.
Okay.
And so now it's just parts.
Okay. Did you take the quarter panel off it?
I did.
Okay. But not worth getting rid of either.
No, there's still little things, these switches and knobs and, heater components. And
that's the Dana 33?
Dana 30, yeah.
30,
Yep.
okay. Dana 30, which has no useful life, I guess.
No,
Yeah, okay.
no. Yeah, it's kind of ironic. If you're a Jeep guy, the Dana 30 is the one you want because otherwise you got a Dana 20.
Oh.
And if you're a Bronco guy, you want the 44 because that was an option too.
Yeah. I see some other vehicles over here, FJs.
Yeah, we've got an addiction for almost anything four-wheel drive. So I've got some old FJ 40s. This one here is a 1980 and real bad cancer.
Yeah, look at that.
But they're a great parts rig for the older ones because they've got disc brakes in the front. They've got a more modern windshield wiper
right here.
assembly instead of the old style.
So is that the foam you're talking about?
Yes, that's the foam.
And that's the cause of this?
That's why they rot.
Man,
People
take
spray
a
foam
look at
them.
this over here. So people in Alaska do this so the cars heat up better in the wintertime, but all it does is contain moisture and it just rots the cars out. Man.
Just turns them to garbage.
So can you imagine, look at the decal's still on here. If that hadn't been done, what a nice vehicle this could be.
Oh, it'd be a beautiful rig.
Man. So this is just a parts vehicle.
Yep.
Are those projects?
These are projects, rebuilders, or, send them down the road, one of the two. This one here is a really nice all original 71. Hasn't been cut, has some rust, not horrible. Has the factory original PTO winch and still has the hubcaps on it.
So that's a factory winch.
That's a factory PTO drive Toyota winch.
That was put on in Japan.
Yep.
Wow. Huh. No drivetrain in there?
No.
Isn't Chevy a popular swap into one of these?
Chevy is, and if I was going to do one, I would put an LS motor in it.
And what's the horsepower on something like that?
Factory, I have no idea.
So 84,000 miles. Do you remember how you found this one?
Yeah, I went to the video store to get a video, and I was driving my 71 that I've now turned into a crew cab. And guy pulls in behind me, says, "Hey, I got 3 of them things. You want one?" And so I went down and I think I gave him $800 for all 3 of them. So.
What a deal. So was that one and this one?
No, it was another one that I've gotten rid of since.
Yep, yep.
I got my $800 back.
And one more over here, huh? And this is another project?
Yep. And this one is a 73. The only difference is it's got an enclosed gas cap. So it's got a fuel door on it.
So I can see it doesn't have that exposed wiper motor over here.
Correct, yeah. So they've got a goofy little motor up here in the top, which this one's been stripped out, which lots of them are because they always fail.
Yep.
And so it's got the motor on one side, and then the other side has got a cable going to it. And those cables always fail. And so that's why that's a more desirable windshield, because it's got a mechanical linkage like a modern vehicle.
So your preference of a Toyota over a Ford?
These are tough as nails, and these will take 500 horse to the stock drivetrain.
Really?
Yeah, we've put 383 strokers in them that were all strung out, and can't blow them up. But a Ford won't quite handle that. Off-road with big tires and lots of horsepower, this is the vehicle to have. They'll handle an enormous amount of abuse. A daily driver, the Bronco. Bronco's the peach.
So it's good to have both of them.
Well, that's what I tell my wife. So we've got the Bronco out in the field, if you want to see it.
Is it like that or that?
It's like the blue one.
Okay. You want to go out there?
It's really cherry.
To drive or? Oh,
no,
really?
we just walk.
Cherry, and it's in a field. What are you doing?
Well, the motor's not in it. It's a Bronco. It's a 72 Sport.
It looks pretty complete from here.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's in pretty decent shape. It's got that standard rust on the seam in the floor.
Right where the 2 angles?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's an easy fix.
Oh, that's a pretty nice one.
Yeah.
So 72?
72, and that's a factory Sport.
And what did the Sport have?
Trim, I think. They had a different grill bezel, a chrome package, and of course the 302, but you could get that in any of them. I think that's the only difference, is the trim.
So this is the second one I've seen from Fort Greeley.
Yep. So interestingly enough, the Air Force bought a pile of these. And so you'll see quite a few of these in Alaska that are blue, like a flat blue, or what do they call it, battleship blue or whatever. And that's from the Air Force.
Wow.
The Air Force owned a pile of them.
So it would be a 302 3-speed?
Yeah, so the automatic wasn't available until 73 or 74.
So what's the plan for this?
Restoration.
This looks like one of the nicest ones I've seen.
Yeah, it's in really good shape. Oddly enough, you know, everybody talks about the orange Broncos. Ford never made an orange Bronco. So when you look at the paint codes, it's called coral. Yeah, because I went to a paint shop to buy paint for one, and I said, I want Bronco orange. And they said, well, what do you mean Bronco orange for a 72? Well, it turns out I came back, I got the paint code, and I was going through the list, and they're coral. And so then I started looking at all the different years, and they never made an orange Bronco.
So would you consider selling these?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, you know, as far as price-wise, what I would be willing to get rid of them for. They're becoming more and more difficult to find, and they're becoming more and more popular.
This would be a good one to strip down and just do it over stock with the hubcaps and everything. It'd be pretty good. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. Well, sir, I really appreciate you spending the time with us.
Thanks
and
for
Nathaniel,
coming.
you're an impressive guy, man. Nice to meet you. And maybe if I come up in a couple of years, you could show me what you've been building.
There we go.
All right, well, thank you. So if you find yourself in Alaska on a vacation, the last frontier, the 49th state, I encourage you to get to the back roads, the dirt roads, and keep your eyes peeled behind houses, because so many houses have interesting vehicles parked behind them. Just don't leave Fig Newtons in your car. Happy hunting.
So I bought this from a pawn shop in '98. Our first kid was on the way, and I thought, man, these would be really cool if they made them in a four-door. And so I'm out in my shop, and I cut the thing in half, and I wheel out the back half of it, and my wife goes, oh my gosh, what'd you do? And I says, well, they made it wrong. I said, so I'm fixing it.
And what kind of drivetrain?
So this is going to have a 4BTA Cummins with a NV 4500 transmission.
That's cool stuff, man.